Hello and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information comes from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History,
Historical calendar.
and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar below. Anyway, I am A.O. Xander.
Log.
And today is Thursday, also known as Friday, April 1st, April Fools 2022. Looks like I forgot to add in the hyphens again today. Whoops. I think I'll just do that on my end as we go through this. Why don't you start us off?
Sure.
In the year 33?
On technical difficulties.
Alright, well, while you're fixing that, I will start us off then. And today, in the year 33, according to one historian's account, Jesus Christ's Last Supper was held. Wow. So that means he died, what, tomorrow? Oh, no, he didn't die tomorrow, but, oh, did he?
No.
What? Alright, well, Lunk still appears to be having some problems, so I'm going to take us up into the year 527, in which...
Here we go. I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Technically, Jesus dies on Good Friday, and then he gets resurrected on Sunday.
Yeah, but, like, this is his Last Supper, so wouldn't tomorrow have been Good Friday back in the year 33?
No, the Last Supper was a Passover.
Oh.
It was a Passover celebration.
Oh, yeah.
A Jewish celebration, kind of.
Well, that's interesting.
Because, he was Jewish.
Yeah. Anyway, what happened in 527?
In 527, 527, Byzantine Emperor Justin I names his nephew Justinian the First as co-ruler and successor to the throne.
Dang. It's a really gracious uncle right there. Doing a pretty big time skip, over 1,000 years, jumping on up into 1545, Potosí, Bolivia, was founded after the discovery of huge silver deposits in the area. Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah. Werewolves watch out.
It's always something that, you find a huge deposit of something, and then something becomes a city or gets named.
Well, that's how Tombstone was founded. It was a huge, silver mine and everything down there.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
another good time skip, 1625, a combined Spanish and Portuguese fleet of 52 ships commences the recapture of Bahia from the Dutch during the Dutch-Portuguese War.
That's a lot of ships.
Yes, this is a whole armada.
Yeah, it is. Moving up into 1789 in New York City, the United States House of Representatives achieved its first quorum and elected Frederick Muhlenberg of Pennsylvania as its first speaker. Wow,
Nice.
the House of Representatives. What is a quorum, though? Let me look that up real quick. Quorum is the minimum number of members of a deliberative assembly necessary to conduct the business of that group. According to Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, the requirement for a quorum is protection against totally unrepresentative action in the name of the body by an unduly small number of persons. All right.
Okay, 1833, the Convention of 1833, a political gathering of settlers in Mexican Texas to help draft a series of petitions to the Mexican government against San Felipe de Austin. So somewhere in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, well, San Felipe de Austin. So So I'd assume in that general area. Let me look that up real
Yeah,
quick.
that later becomes Austin, Texas.
Well, Austin, Texas was actually no, never mind. San Felipe, also known as San Felipe de Austin, is a town in Austin County, Texas, United States. The town was the social, economic, and political center of the early Stephen F. Austin colony. The population was 747 in the 2010 census. So it's in Austin County, not city.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know Austin had a county. Anyway,
Hey, it's new to me too.
yep. Jumping on up into 1865 during the American Civil War, Union troops led by Philip Sheridan decisively defeated Confederate troops led by George Pickett, cutting off the Army of Northern Virginia's last supply line. Yikes.
Um,
Yikes, yikes.
I'll do two since this one's like, it's small.
Alright.
In 1867, Singapore becomes a British Crown colony.
Hmm.
Wow. A British Crown colony. That's just a colony. A British Crown colony.
Fancy, fancy, la-di-da.
Yeah.
Why are my pinkies
Also,
so
in
short?
1873, the White Star steamers RMS Atlantic sinks off Nova Scotia, killing 547 in one of the worst marine disasters of the 19th century.
That sucks.
That's horrible, especially in the frozen water.
Yeah, Nova Scotia.
Not a fucking way to die.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's... Yeah, pins and needles, man. Jumping on up into the next century, in 1900, Prince George became absolute monarch of Crete. Cool.
In 1908, the Territorial Forces, renamed Territorial Army in 1920, is formed as a volunteer reserve component of the British Army.
Cool. So it sounds like a reservist type of thing.
Yes. Sounds like the reserves.
Yeah. One decade later, in 1918, the Royal Air Force was created by the merger of the Royal Flying Corps and the Royal Naval Air Service. Oh. That's good. They consolidated.
Yeah. Also, 1924, Adolf Hitler is sentenced to 5 years imprisonment for his participation in the beer hall. He spends only 9 months in jail.
Yeah. Well, should have kept him in a little bit longer. No, or a lot of it longer. Maybe he would have gone back into painting. Who knows? Also, in 1924, the Royal Canadian Air Force was formed. Oh, look at that. 2 different air forces.
Yep.
And then moving on up into 1935, India's central banking institution, the Reserve Bank of India, was formed. That smells like Rothschild to me.
Also, 1937, Aden becomes a British Crown colony. What's up with the Crown in colony?
Let me look that up. What is a British Crown colony?
So, it's like it's not like they bought the premium.
I know, right? The Crown Colony, or Royal Colony, was a colony administered by the Crown within the British Empire. There was usually a governor appointed by the monarch of the UK on the advice of the home government, with or without the assistance of a local council.
So they bought the premium.
Yeah.
Oh my god! This is the way it sounds. They bought the premium.
They bought the premium.
Okay, 1937. Oh, another 1937. The Royal New Zealand Air Force is formed as the independent service. Nice.
Is today
Kinda
like
cool.
Air Force Day or something? What the hell is going on? There's 3, dude. Like, crazy.
I know, this is some crazy shit.
Yep. 2 years later, 1939, during the Spanish Civil War, Generalissimo Francisco Franco of the Spanish state announced the end of the Spanish Civil War when the last of the Republican forces surrendered. Yeah, and then he became like a really horrible dictator. Unfortunately overshadowed by, some other people of the time, like, some minor names you might have heard of, like Benito Mussolini, Adolf Hitler, Mao Zedong, Joseph Stalin, those guys.
Kim
Yeah,
Kim Jong
Kim Il Sung.
yeah, Kim Il Sung.
Yeah. Well, that was after World War II. That was like in
Yeah.
1950s or something, because Korea was annexed by Japan like in the 20s or something. I don't remember. Maybe even before that. So
Let's see what else. In 1941, Vatana Albania massacre between 200 and 2,000 Romanian civilians are killed by Soviet border troops.
1-0 makes a huge difference. You know,
Yeah.
so we have a differential of 1,800 people. So that's a pretty big gap right there. Also, 1941, a military coup in Iraq overthrew the regime of Abd al-Ilah and installed Rashid Ali al-Gaylani as prime minister. Okay.
Okay, damn. In 1944, navigation errors led to the accidental American bombing of the Swiss city of Schaffhausen.
Uh, yep. Even to this day, friendly fire incidents are a serious threat. And then you think about back then with what little technology they had. You know, it's surprising there weren't more accidents. 1 year
All they had
later,
was radio contact. All they had was radio contact and a map.
yeah, pretty much.
Someone was pointing out the coordinates on a map.
Yep. 365 days later, in 1945, also during the Second World War, the 10th United States Army attacked the 32nd Japanese Army on Okinawa. Here we go.
Damn.
Okinawa, where the sun don't shine.
Also, 1946, the 8.6 MW Atulian Islands earthquake shakes the Atulian Islands with a maximum Macaulay intensity of 6. No, of 6 meters strong. A destructive tsunami reached the Hawaiian Islands, resulting in dozens of deaths, most in Helio, Hawaii.
Dang.
I was about to say Japan.
Yeah, I heard you. Moving on up into 1947, the only mutiny in the history of the Royal New Zealand Navy began. Wow, look at that. They have a... You want to talk about ship shape, pun intended. Oh.
Okay. In 1948, Cold War Communist forces respond to the introduction of the Deutsche Mark by attempting to force the Western powers to withdraw from Berlin.
Yeah. The introduction of the Deutschmark.
Deutschmark.
Deutsch! That reminds me of a commercial, long time ago, this lady named Ronnie Deutsch, but the way she says it, she's like, "Hi, I'm Ronnie Deutsch!" It's just like, damn, why are you so aggressive with your last name, lady? All you're doing is selling insurance. Why are you yelling at me with your last name? Anyway, jumping on up as well into 1948, the Faroe Islands gained autonomy from Denmark. And then 1 year after that, in 1949, during the Chinese Civil War, the Chinese Communist Party held unsuccessful peace talks with the Nationalist Party in Beijing after 3 years of fighting. Yeah, well, I wonder who was being belligerent in that conversation, huh?
Also, in 1949, the government of Canada repels Japanese-Canadian internment after 7 years.
All right. Can't blame
After
them.
7 years.
Well, can't really blame
They should
them.
have did it. I know they should have did it after the war was over. The war was over.
Yeah, but, I mean, just because the war is over doesn't mean that Japan will continue spying on us, I mean... I'm hesitant, that Japan is getting nuclear weapons, now because of China, And what's stopping them from deciding to get revenge for Hiroshima and Nagasaki,
A counterattack.
You mean mutually assured destruction? That's real madness right there. 5 years later, in 1954, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower authorized the creation of the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Nice.
Nice.
They have a building that, I think it's a chapel. It's a really big, cool-looking building.
Cool. Also, let's see. 1955, the EOKA rebellion against the British Empire begins in Cyprus with the goal of unifying with Greece.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What is EOKA? EOKA Rebellion. Let me look that up real quick. The Ethniki Organosis Kyprion Agoniston was a Greek Cypriot nationalist paramilitary organization that fought a campaign to end the British rule in what I assume has to be Greece. British rule in Cyprus, and for the eventual union with Greece. Yeah, so that's right, Cyprus, the island nation. They wanted to unify with mainland Greece. And I believe they did that. So,
Nice.
jumping on up into 1960, the Trios 1 satellite transmitted the first television picture from space. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Also, 1964, the British Admiralty, War Office, and Air Ministry are replaced by the Unified Defense Council of the United Kingdom.
Yep. So that's like, the head of, the Navy, the Army, and the Air Force. Reorganize it. Bureaucracy. Jumping up into 1969, the Hawker Siddeley Harrier, the first operational fighter aircraft with vertical short takeoff and landing capabilities, also known as VTOL, entered service with the Royal Air Force. Oh, well, look at that. They were the first ones. The Brits.
Hey, I'll be back.
All right. In 1970, President Richard Nixon signed the Public Health Cigarette Smoking Act into law. And I assume that has to be something to do with putting the Surgeon General's warning on every packet of cigarettes. Warning! Sucking on these cancer sticks will kill you! It's like, I don't care. I'm getting enough poison from the military-industrial complex in the air I breathe, the water I drink, and the food I eat. Go check out Russell Brand. He just he did a video recently in the past day or so involving all the crap we have in our food, chemicals, whatnot. Anyway, 365 days later in 1974, the Local Government Act of 1972 of England and Wales came into effect. And what is that? Sorry, I had to sneeze. Let's see here. Local Government Act 1972 is an act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom, and hold on a second, I have to sneeze.
Okay.
My apologies. Kingdom that reformed local government in England and Wales on April 1st, 1974. It was one of the most significant acts of Parliament to be passed by the Health Government of 1970 through 74. Alright. I'm going to add this to the underbar as well. Why don't you take the next couple here? You there? I thought I heard you. Anyway, moving on up into 1977, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak founded Apple Computer Inc. Blech. Does less, cost more. It's that simple. 2 years after that, in 1979, Iran became an Islamic Republic by a 99% vote, officially overthrowing the Shah. Dang. Then in 1984, singer Marvin Gaye was shot to death by his father in his home in Arlington Heights, Los Angeles, California. Well, that's just rude. You know? What kind of father shoots his own son? That's...
His father shot him because his father was highly religious and he got pissed off at his music.
So he shot him?
And he was a big... Marvin Gaye's a big fucking dude.
That sounds like some Dewey Cox, material right there. Wrong son died. So, are you back this time?
Yeah, I'm back this time. I am back. I am back, and I'm black. I'm just back in black.
Back in black like a motherfucking heart attack.
Okay, we're in 1986.
86.
In 1986, the Communist Party in Nepal marched to cater attacked a number of police stations in Kathmandu, seeking to incite a popular rebellion. Wow.
Hmm. Those commies just always starting shit.
Got it started something.
Yep. Moving on up into 1989, Margaret Thatcher's new local government tax, the community charge, commonly known as the poll tax, was introduced in Scotland. Ay, when will they stop taxing people? Seriously. Then again, this is like 200 years after the Rothschilds took over, so...
1997 Haiti. Up is sea passing at perihelion.
Perihelion. What is that? Perihelion. An apsis is the farthest or nearest point in the orbit of a planetary body about its primary body. The apsides of Earth's orbit of the Sun are two: the aphelion, where the Earth is farthest from the Sun, and the perihelion, where it is nearest. Okay, so it was seen passing at its nearest point. So that's what that means. 2 years after that, in 1999, Nunavut was established as a Canadian territory carved out of the eastern part of the Northwest Territories. Huh.
In 2001, same-sex marriage becomes legal in the Netherlands, the first contemporary country to allow it.
Well, cool.
Yep.
Also in 2001, an EP-3E United States Navy surveillance aircraft collided with the Chinese People's Liberation Army Shenyang J-8 fighter jet. The Chinese pilot ejected but was subsequently lost. The Navy crew made an emergency landing in Hainan, China, and was detained. Jeez.
But you imagine someone saying, "What do you mean you secretly lost him?"
Dang.
We can't find him. He's secretly dead.
That kind of sucks,
Don't mind me, I'm retarded.
We're all retarded. Also in 2001, former president of the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, Slobodan Milosevic, surrendered to political special forces, later to be tried on war crimes charges.
Okay. I'm gonna do two, since, In 2004, Google launches its email service, Gmail.
Man, I really wish that had just stayed an April Fool's joke,
Also, in 2006, Syria's organized crime agency, SOCA, of the government of the United Kingdom is enforced, but later is merged into National Crime Agency on the 7th of October 2013.
Cool. So, 7 years after that. Alright. 5 years after that, in 2011, after protests against the burning of the Quran turned violent, a mob attacks a United Nations compound in Mazar-i-Sharif, Afghanistan, resulting in the deaths of 13 people, including 8 foreign workers. Don't burn the Quran, guys. Just don't burn any books.
Except for Necronomicon, get rid of that fucking thing.
Yeah, that needs to be burnt. Actually, no. If you burn the Necronomicon, you'll release all the demons. So maybe, I don't know. I'm no necromancer. I don't know the laws of the dead.
I'll start off first. In 1220.
Well, before we do, any articles get your attention today?
The Trio satellite. It transmits the first television picture from space. This one.
Don't forget the 3 different air forces that were formed.
Yes, all the different air forces. Oh yeah, and also the Crown colonies.
And Hitler getting thrown into jail.
Of course, we already knew he got thrown into jail. He was making a fucking ruckus at a beer hall.
Yeah.
Everybody was listening. He was doing those speeches. They didn't like it.
Yep. Anyway, now you can start off the burst, good sir.
Right.
Bless you.
In 1220, Emperor Gosaga, Emperor of Japan.
1543, Francois de Bon, Duke of Les Diguieres.
1815, Otto von Bismarck, German lawyer and politician who was the first chancellor of the German Empire.
In 1885, Clementine Churchill was born on this date. She was the English wife of Winston Churchill.
Cool. In 1889, KB Hedgewar, Indian physician and activist.
Yeah, his last name Hedgewar reminds me of like all the hedgerows in during D-Day and all this stuff in why can't I remember? It's Normandy in France. Hedge Wars. Moving on up into 1909, we have Whittaker Chambers, a U.S. journalist and spy.
But was he a wit talker?
Whittaker.
No, Twitch talker. Also, in 1906, Alexander Sergeyevich Yakovlev, Russian engineer who founded Yakovlev Design Bureau.
1917, Sidney Newman, a Canadian screenwriter and producer who created Doctor Who, or co-created Doctor Who.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
1921, Arthur Guitar Boogie Smith, U.S. guitarist, fiddler, and composer. What the fuck did he fiddle with?
I don't want to answer that question. 1929, we have Jonathan Hayes, a U.S. actor, producer, screenwriter, and production manager. That's a little bit of a difference.
Yes, it is. Also, 1948, Peter Law, Welsh politician and independent member of Parliament.
Man, what a last name to be working in the government. He is the law.
I am the law.
The law! 1949, Paul Manafort, a U.S. lobbyist, political consultant, and convicted felon. That's a little weird. It's like, good, bad.
Also, 1950, Loris Kessel, Swiss race driver. Yes, the Kessel Run.
Yeah. But could she do it in less than 12 parsecs? Or was it 8? I don't remember. I should be ashamed of myself.
12!
12, thank you.
Even he said in Force Awakens.
The way you said 12. 12!
Even though it wasn't even him. He was part of the crew that did it, but Lando did it.
Dang.
Yeah, you seen Solo?
No.
Yeah, that was. They had Donald Glover play Lando, and it was pretty awesome.
Well, didn't they also say that he was in like some kind of romantic relationship with his robot or something?
It was kind of disturbing.
Yeah. Disney.
But hey, fuck it.
Yeah.
Cool.
1952, Annette O'Toole was born on this date. She was a U.S. actress.
Yes. Also, 1958, D. Boone, U.S. singer and musician.
1961, Susan Boyle, a Scottish singer, and she has one of the greatest quotes that I can think of in the music industry. Because I remember when somebody, I'm not sure if it was on America's Got Talent or Europe's Got Talent.
That version. That version of the talent thing that she appeared.
Yeah.
And blew everybody's minds.
Yeah. Well, she said something along the lines of, I don't make music for your eyes, I make it for your ears, or something like that. Which, that speaks volumes. Why is the music industry so preoccupied with looks? That's not even what you do. Focus on the music. Susan Boyle is amazing.
She hit that voice, and that was it.
Yeah, did not expect that voice to come out of that. That was truly a shocker. But a very pleasant surprise, to be honest. Anyway, moving on up into 1964, Kevin Duckworth, a U.S. basketball player. Quack.
Okay. Also, 1966, Chris Evans, English radio and television host. That's not him. It's somebody else named that.
Okay. All right, 1968, we have Andreas Schnaz, a German actor and director. Very schnazzy. Is it Schnaz or Schnoz? Schnaz? I don't know, Schnaz.
1973, Rachel Maddow, U.S. journalist and author. This gotta
1975.
be April Fool's.
What?
This gotta be an April Fool's joke.
Who's Rachel Maddow?
Yeah, look at her. Look him up. Joke is a girl. But still, CNN
Oh.
and all that shit.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Italian shit.
Okay. Oh, MSNBC. Okay, yeah.
That's why I said it's gotta be a fucking April Fool's joke.
Oh, you're gonna
joke.
see something really hilarious here in a minute. 1975, we have John Butler, a U.S. Australian singer, songwriter, and producer. You know, could have gone into the service industry with a last name like that. What a missed opportunity.
1978, Antonio de Negros, Mexican footballer.
Yep. 1982, we have Taran Killam, a U.S. actor, voice artist, comedian, and writer. Here we go.
1995, Logan Paul, U.S. YouTuber and actor.
There's no better date that can hold that joke of a person. Logan Paul, born on April Fool's. Perfect. Perfect.
Maybe when his mom was with his dad, it's like, Dad, he was calling him April Fool's.
Anyway, jumping on up into the deaths now, we start off in 996 with John the 15th. He was a pope of the Catholic Church.
914, Charles Wells, English founder of Charles Wells Ltd.
1971, Kathleen Lonsdale, an Irish crystallographer and prison reformer. That's interesting.
1981, Ina Sorensen Sana, Thai singer, songwriter, and band leader.
1995, Francisco Moncion, Dominican U.S. ballet dancer, choreographer, and charter member of the New York City Ballet.
2005, Paul Bomani, Tanzanian politician and diplomat who was the first Tanzanian Prime Minister of Finance.
Tanzanian.
Tanzanian.
Yep. 2013, Moses Blah. Blah. Liberian general and politician who was the 23rd president of Liberia. Oh, yeah, I would have loved to see that campaign. Vote for Blah. He's meh, you know?
2014, King Fleming, U.S. pianist and band leader.
Dang, King Fleming. Yeah, sounds like he needed some Claritin or something. I need some Claritin or something. And last but not least, in 2017, we have Yevgeny Yevtushenko, Soviet and Russian poet and writer. And that concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar for any links that you may be interested in, which also includes...
Showing TV on Twitch.
And everything Omni Coalition. We stream every day at between 12 to 3 p.m. Pacific Time, which is also...
2 to 5 Central.
Yep. And if you don't live in either of those time zones, you can figure out the math yourself. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am Ao Xander.
Long.
And you are you. Until you see us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Mm-hmm.